And there it is. In tradition, the national anthem of Australia played prior to the kickoff of the Dewar Shield. And here we go. The 2024 Velo Dewar Shield about to get underway. The cherry on top of the Rugby Victoria season. I'm your commentator today, Gerard McClanahan, joined in the box by Benny Trippiano. And Benny, 80 minutes away from crowning a new champion of rugby in Victoria.
Absolutely, Gerard. It's great to be here. Thank you for the kind welcome. What a crowd we've got on display. Victorian rugby, what a strong community that we have. The powerhouse green on the left side of your screen. And then Footscray coming over. A few of them still coming over from the second grand final. But there's just something special about grand final day, Gerard. I don't know what it is. The smell of the sausages on the barbecue smell a little bit better. The ball feels a bit better in your hand. There's something feels special in the air today. And I think we're going to have a great game.
Well, we've been treated to some absolute pearlers out here on Field 1 already this afternoon, starting with the Lindroth Cup, where Powerhouse did a number on the reigning premiers, Endeavour Hills. They got up there. And just moments ago, for those who were tuned into the Rugby Victoria Facebook page or the Rugby Explorer app or rugby.com.au, you would have seen the battle of our two regional clubs, Shepparton and Geelong, contesting the premiership, and Shepparton got the silverware there. And I'll tell you what, for their 2 busloads of fans who travelled down today, weren't they excited by that? But now it's the big one, and already you can see the hill in the background starting to fill up. On the left-hand side, we've got Powerhouse, and whoa, Benny, I'm going to ask you, you can see the green of Powerhouse, the blue of the Bulldogs. If you had to call it, where's the fan support lie to the naked eye?
I mean, the green stands out. I feel like we're at Cork Park almost with the amount of green, and even hear some of the Irish accents I heard on the way into the ground. They've got such a strong history, such a strong supporter base, Powerhouse, and they deserve to be here today, both their supporters and their team. Finished second on the table, knocked off Harlequins in week 1 to earn their way straight to this final. They'll be tough to beat this afternoon. I
thought you were going to say it feels like Bridie O'Reilly's on a Friday night. Anyway, a big congratulations. We do always like to acknowledge our referees for their tireless work all season. And on a day like today, a big shout out to Shannon McLaughlin, the man in the middle, overseeing his first Dewar Shield fixture. So often the bridesmaid, today the bride. Congratulations for him for what has been. It's never just about the work you've done over the space of the year, but a career where today he reaches what will be a highlight for him overseeing a Dewar Shield fixture. So, in the first half, it'll be the Footscray Bulldogs running left to right on your screens at home, chasing their first premiership in 86 years. As that kick fails to go the 10. And we will pack down, Benny, for an area I know you're excited about, the first scrum of the afternoon.
Exactly. It's very much a case of the front row show with these 2 packs. They did such a good job, the front row and the forward pack of Footscray last week. And we know the size and strength that Powerhouse had. Those 2 coming out. This first hit is really going to set the tone for the afternoon.
Dempsey, Eberhardt and RJ David packing down for Powerhouse, up against the might of Kemble Frost, Sokoloweni and Tuanui from the Footscray Bulldogs. Of course, a few of those players featuring in our Meat Pie Team of the Year. And interestingly, starting very tight, the defensive backline of Footscray. Look how bunched they are, encouraging them to run it wide. So Powerhouse take the space on, off it to the right. Oh, a big shot put on Nolder. It was a little bit high, so they've got the advantage there. And straight through the middle goes Fox Harper. We'll come back for the penalty though, but Nolder almost hit into last week.
Yeah, we felt that one from here on the other side of the ground. Set the tone early with that big hit. The first 2 actions though from Footscray Kick not going 10, and then a penalty given on the kick.
Yeah.
Not the best start to the afternoon, but we'll see how they go from here.
Well, the kick, is that going to find touch? It is. 5 metres out, and Kean McGovern has ripped that one about 45 metres on the fly. That is some kick. Advantage Powerhouse. Oh, geez. Dangerous times early for Footscray. Line out. Immediately they go looking for Greenig. They set up the maul. Good job of trying to sack it from the Dogs. McCooler, tip of the spear, the centre. Brought down in the middle. Not rolling away. Quick tap and go chance now. Fox Harper lunges for the line, picks up the first for their house. How do you like that start?
Well, the crowd goes wild on that far side of the field. A wall of green it is. Rises one. Really simple play from Powerhouse. One out stuff from the base of the ruck and crushes over for a well-deserved first try of the afternoon.
Well, that'll settle the nerves from Powerhouse. And it started with our man, Kean McGovern, the governor. That kick to touch, which set up shot within 5 metres. We did say in our pre-match preview the kicking game of McGovern was going to be one of the telling factors here today, and that's proven to be the case in the open 5 minutes. And Footscray standing underneath the post, just a little bit shell-shocked, Benny.
Yeah, I feel like they almost didn't come out of the sheds with that start. This wind, you can maybe hear it on your microphone coming through your speakers at home, is causing a havoc with our conversion taker, with kickers, with everything today. It's going to be a real leveler. So I think you might find the kicking game of McGovern is going to be hard to top this afternoon.
The flags are raised, and the governor turns 5 into 7. Early blood to their house. They finished the regular season second on the ladder, only behind Harlequins, who were bundled out in straight sets in the postseason. As Powerhouse knocked them out in the major semi before last week. We saw that classic with the Doggies. Has that gone too far? Oh no, what a horrible start from Footscray. 3 errors to start the Velo Dewar Shield Grand Final. A kick not going 10, a kick going too long, and a high shot, the penalty after that first scrum. Oh, what a terrible start, Benny. This is grand final nerves.
No, absolutely. This is the difference between regular season footy and grand final footy. Every inch is a little bit more important. Every decision's got to be that more sure, because the difference at this level on this game is right to see, and you have to say Powerhouse have turned up ready to play this afternoon. Yeah,
big game experience, so important. And this is a Powerhouse side which boasts so many players from that grand final loss 2 years ago. And you just wonder what influence that has had as McGovern looks to play in the corners now. Has he overcooked it? He has. So both kickers early, the 2 number 10s, Greg Samisi and McGovern, both struggling to adjust to this breeze. I should point out as well, it's not a very consistent breeze, Benny, so conditions throughout the day changing a little bit, but I can say for right now, it's quite a stiff breeze and it's blowing towards the clubhouse. So for those watching on their screens, it's blowing away from the camera towards the hill. So you've got to be very careful whenever you kick it to that side of the field. There's every chance it's going to go an extra 10 metres or so.
It's going to be a real leveler, and the 50-22s are going to be, as we've seen throughout the whole afternoon here, going to be a real opportunity for those who can take advantage of it.
Bon Wilson marking the short side here for Footscray. All the other backs are standing awfully flat on the open side. Fa'atau, watch out for him. Great scrum. Fa'atau, first touch. Big carry, gets them on the front foot. Nabalakasi straight through the middle, gets the offload away. Chance now, racing away. Pakisel cuts inside the 22. Just short, Nabalakasi goes digging at the base, gets the pick and go and the offload. Wilson puts it through the hands. Palu Solid carry. They're about 2 metres short. Here he goes on the hard line. Fa'atau. Somehow he's denied. We get the long arm penalty there. But it's our man, identified pre-game, one of the key men, one of the top dogs, Matthew Nubble-Akasi, having an impact early.
Yeah, he's been really good. His off-play was so important last week, and he's just demonstrated his ability there again, knocking it off to the scrum half Siu, who I know you've said pre-game, he has to be on today if Footscray are going to win, and he set a really, really good tone. As soon as the doggies get the ball in hand, they're a threat. They'll be encouraged by that.
One of the huge talking points late this week was the late unavailability of their midfield duo, Sonny Nuku and Eli Volley. The 12-13 who pack so much punch, ruled out, Volley through injury, Sonny through suspension, and now they've got two new men in Fa'atau and Tuia who are tasked with doing the damage in the midfield, the Dogs. What impact is that going to have late? For now, though, they're going to use the forwards. Lueni stopped dead in his tracks. Sue goes digging, looks to the right, opens up a little bit of space with a wide pass. Pick and go straight through the hey diddle, and there's your man, Tuia. A late call up to this side, cuts through, but he's done so illegally. It did seem a little bit easy how he was able to split that defense. Fancy there was a bit of an obstruction there. But I'll tell you what, that would have done his nerves a world of good. Tafatolu Tuia recalled into the match day 15 after Eli Volley was ruled out. And what was meant to be one of their strengths today, their 12-13 combination, raised a few eyebrows when we saw two new faces named. And certainly started well, both of them, Fa'atau and Tuia. They'll need to be on today if Footscray have any chance of winning. Overthrow. Oh. Yeah. Didn't find the intended target. And right there you get an indication not just of the slant of the field, but the breeze that they would have been throwing into there. It's always a tough place to throw, Box Hill, and you get an example right there. Even the best line-outs struggle on this Box Hill pitch, Benny. Yeah,
for those watching who aren't from Melbourne or watching from around the world, welcome. But the unique thing about this Box Hill field is for drainage purposes, it already runs up to the middle. Running from the sideline up to the middle is a bit like running up a hill. There's a small slant, which is great for kickers who are looking to find a little bit of extra distance, but just makes throw-ins harder, makes everything a little bit harder.
Samisi, late little switch there. Here he goes now, Tuia. They got the advantage here, Footscray. Tap and go, picking up the speed. Sue takes it through. Gets an offload to Nubble-Akasi. Who else? Lands on his side, gets the ball back. Opens up a bit of space for Wilson, playing flat. Not afraid to pop up at first receiver is the left wing. Back they come to big Kemble Frost. Keep an eye out on him today. He's a real battering ram, the front rower. Dirty ball now for Sel. And it's resulted in a turnover. McGovern sits back in the pocket. Nolder finds his man. And McGovern pumps that one long and into touch.
Footscray coming back into this game. I think they've woken up after the first 5 minutes. Really dominating. Fortunately give the ball away there. Getting some good purchase through the middle. Siao with that quick tap off the penalty picked up a lot of extra metres. And of course, who was right there? Nubble-Akasi.
So dirty ball at the back. Oh, showing real willingness there. Powerhouse to pounce on it. Nolder immediately puts it on the shoe, and there's the breeze we spoke of. That's something you got to be conscious of. And learning his lesson early is Maxi Nolder. Now we've seen all three kickers so far today, Nolder, McGovern and Samisi. with an error at kicking time. As Nabil Kasi claims it at the back. Did that look straight? Well, a bit of an obstruction in the middle of the line out. And here they go quickly again. Palu. Look at that for a carry from the back rower. Getting them on the front foot and over halfway. Frost, tip of the spear. Show and go. Mawafua was used as a dummy. Options left and right here. Vassell, he wants to go back to Nabil Akasi. Why wouldn't you? He puts his hand up for some more work. Lueni running straight into Chapman. Got the advantage as well here. Got to be careful. They've got numbers on the right. Here he goes. Mawafua. That's a carry. Tyberg up to the 22. Quick ball. They want to play off this, don't they? Lueni lets it skip him. Goes to Samisi. Takes it to the line. Greg Samisi gets a pass off the deck. And there he is again. Soko Lueni. Luesi. Got that one arm offload in him. Can't use it on this occasion. And there wasn't really much of an advantage either. So we'll go back for the earlier infringement.
Yeah, some good structured play from Footscray. Mawafua just burst through a gap there and picked up a 15-metre run. And that's what their forward pack is so good at. They get so many metres after the first hit. They're so big, they're so strong, so they're so hard to bring down. And it looks like Naiaru is down there. And he has started this game not well. He is not 100%. I think with the injury list... the injuries to Footscray, he's have to play through the pain as that kick doesn't quite find touch.
So, this could be a bit of a theme here today. It was touch and go whether he was going to be picked to play today, the Fijian Ferrari, Matai Nairavu, and his ankle, we saw it in that minor semi-final. He took a knock late in the game, and no one thought he would be able to play today, and that kick is a decent whack from McGovern. He was taken out late as well. Oh, here's trouble. McGovern still down in back play. Hasn't moved.
Yeah, there is some immediate concern. The trainers are with him.
Oh, this does not look great. And it was one of the big talking points pre-game. The kicking game of Kean McGovern being arguably one of the most important factors in this grand final. Such is his prodigious boot. And the Bulldogs have not missed him. They have lined him up, taken him out inside the opening 14 minutes. Oh, he hasn't moved. This is, as I say that, fortunately, he sits up. Very conscious as well, Benny. We've got so many fans tuning in from around the world, not least of all from the Emerald Isle. So we want to keep you in the loop. I can confirm he's back on his feet, which is good.
Really good to see. He's walking back to play.
Very, very good to see.
It was a big hit. The trainers have done really well to get to him quickly.
Of course, Benny, there's another story unfolding. Matai Nairavu, the Fijian Ferrari, is being hooked. He's being taken to the side of the field. He's hobbling off on one leg, and we did not want to see this.
No, it was always going to be touch and go if he was going to play. I dare say, if this was a regular game, there's no way he'd be playing.
Yeah.
He was limping from the very start. I'm not sure if he took a hit or something has happened. But his grand final is over a little bit earlier than he would have liked.
McGovern, has he tried to bite off more than he can chew? Yeah, he has. So perhaps still feeling the effects of that knock. Not really kicking with great conviction there. He's overcooked it. And that's a huge let-off for Footscray. Yeah, I chatted with the coaches last week. Sione Puamal asked what they thought the chances of Matai playing were. They weren't confident at all after that minor semi-final where, after scoring a try in the 70th minute, he got clipped on the ankle by one of the Moorabbin defenders. and he looked really ginger after that. He didn't obviously play last week in the elimination final. No one thought he'd be available for this game. They were so desperate to get him on the field today because they know he's one of the most electric players in the competition that they held him back to the last minute, named him last night in the matchday 15, and it's taken him only 10 minutes to succumb to that injury again. So, great shove this from Footscray. Hello. Frost Lueni to a Nui. Pats on the head, as they should. That's huge.
Yeah, big win. Campbell Frost is such a imposing figure at that scrum. They did so well against Harlequins last week, as they have done all season, but you really think it's coming together in that forward pack at the right time of the year. But Nairu, such a shame for the fans here at full flight. He's the most exciting man. I'm not sure if he's used your words or mine. One of the most exciting players in the competition, but he wasn't close to 100% fit, and that gamble has not paid off for Footscray. But another opportunity for a young player to come through.
Palu claims it in the middle. Samisi catches it behind his back. He looks for Wilson, who goes running straight at McGovern, and the little number 10 is going to be tested early. Around the corner they come to Nui, rattling into the defence. Samisi so often uses an extra forward, such as the bulk of the fly half, pinches an extra few metres. Tuanui getting involved heavily early is the prop. Long arm though, was it a high shot put on? They're saying McGovern, when they ran at him, made the tackle a little bit high. This was always going to be interesting to see how Footscray targeted the number 10. Not that he's a bad defender per se, but the smallest of the backs for Powerhouse, and obviously if you want to blunt his attacking offense, it makes sense to target him in D.
Of course, and we saw that hit that was put on him. Definitely rattled him a little bit, as it would to anyone. But Footscray, a really good opportunity here. They've pretty much had all the field possession since conceding that first try. They'll need to take advantage of it here, though.
Nabalakasi stands tallest. They set up the maul. Here comes the big dog. Eddie Macker, captain of the kennel, says thank you very much.
Eddie Macker, I have to say, this whole final series, I've developed a little man crush on him because he is so good to watch and he's so hard to stop. And a well-deserved first try for Footscray this afternoon. This fairy tale run, this fairy tale season they're having, he's been such a big part of it, and they're not giving up just yet.
Well, all of those big dogs we spoke about pre-game having an influence there. Nabalakasi with the line-out win. Eddie Maka converting it into points. Paki Sell, he's done a great job of knowing when to release the forwards and the backs. He's pulling the strings beautifully. But he is the man, Eddie Macker, isn't he? He's got an aura about him that you just don't see with too many players. Once in a generation. Inspires not just his team, this club, in fact. Such a charismatic fella around the club.
This is a tough kick.
Samisi into the teeth of the wind, gets bidden back. Can't add the extra two.
Yeah, that wind, for those watching at home, blowing straight into his face. So any kick from that side of the field is going to be really challenging this afternoon as it continues to swirl around. It's not favouring either team at the moment. Footscray right back in this game. They've been good value so far.
McGovern puts a little extra sauce on this one, and here he goes. Oh, he's winding out Macca, wasn't he? Sell decides to put it on the shoe, allowed to bounce, and here he goes. Mikakoko, another one of these big men, picked up and dumped in the middle. Great shot put on him. They earned the penalty, though, for not rolling away. Eberhardt, the captain, he was in a position to take a quick tap, but you know what we say about this Powerhouse team. No one plays territory footy better than Powerhouse. They're the masters of the corners. Play for territory, box teams in to their own 22. Because they know if they play enough footy down there, they're either going to get a turnover, generate a penalty somehow, and here they go again, another entry into the opposition quarter. Right in front of their fans as well.
Yeah.
Buster Eberhardt. Here we go, the line out. Throwing into a stiff breeze. They play it safe, go to 2. Luke Palu all over it. They'll get a take 2 here. But every time you fail to win one cleanly, it just sits on the hooker's mind a little bit. So many variables to consider here. The camber of the field, the stiff breeze he's throwing into. But this time, Josh Greening claims it. It's gone backwards. RJ David, foe of Goliath, picks it up. They go for a bit of a rumble. Is that a collapsed maul? Ball still playable. Great counteract. Nolder. Well, he got pushed back. He knocked it on in the process, but they're saying they weren't rolling away there. And here's a chance to bury this into the corner and go back to the maul. Dangerous times here for the Dogs.
Very much so, right in front of that wall of green here at Box Hill. A great crowd in supporting Victorian Rugby this afternoon. 2 proud clubs. And of course, we're going to have a new name on the trophy this afternoon.
Yeah. What are we saying, 25, 30,000 here today?
Well, conservatively.
To the back they go, and they find Isaac Moore. Here comes the maul. The Doggies try to push him back towards the sideline. Eberhardt goes himself. The skipper denied by 2 metres. So, the Green Machine work it to the left, looking for Coco. Great defence early, though, from the Dogs, trying to repel this powerhouse raid. Greening now, the tall timber, bumps off 1, bumps off 2, Greening just short. They go for the late pick and go. Nolder releases the backs, McGovern out the back, Thriller Miller, Fox Harper out the back, racing to the corner, McDermott gets the offload away and Miller can't handle it. Oh, it slips out of Thriller's hand and Powerhouse almost pulled a bit of razzle-dazzle out of the hat.
Yeah, taking one out of the Footscray handbook, and they covered really, really well. There's a little bit of afters, so there's no love lost out there. Probably should have scored. Powerhouse, some great cover defence. It was a great ball from Miller, who really sacrificed himself with a little tap on, taken out, but as he came on, couldn't quite keep hold of it.
Tap and go. Eberhardt tries to do it himself. The skipper leading from the front. Slow ball at the base. They try to counteract this, Footscray. Powerhouse, though, will do well to retain possession. Coco thought about the tip pass, puts it under the big chicken wing. Ball spits out the back. Somehow they come away with it. Nolder can't hold it, and he coughs it up. What a defensive stand from the Bulldogs.
Really, really strong defence from the Bulldogs. I've been critical of their discipline in and around that 22, because that's what Powerhouse do. They'll just keep grinding you, and go and take points away from their time down there. But really good work from Footscray to keep them out, force the error. Really mature performance from their forward pack.
7 plays 5 here in the Velo Shield. Dewar Shield's grand final of 2024, and you did mention it. What are we, 12 years it's been since there's been a winner other than Harlequins in Melbourne. So history will be made one way or the other here today. Isn't it great to see, just for the community, just these other clubs start to emerge and raise the standard of the local game, Benny?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the hill now. There's a wall of green there. You could hear the different accents, the different people come from different areas to play rugby and to live in Melbourne, and it's great to see they can all come together here.
Samisi puts it on the shoe, peels off about 50 metres on the fly. Miller thought about the field goal, I thought for a second. Keeps ball in hand, looks for McDermott. McDermott with the chip and chase. Sells in the backfield, can't hold it! Allowed to bounce! Anyone's ball, and there he is! Michael McDermott pounces on the spilt ball and gets another one for the house.
Well, that was the most unorthodox chip and chase I think I've ever seen. But it's bounced and it's come, and it was hot potato. And Powerhouse somehow have come away from it with 5 points. A well-earned try. And it all came from the little show and go from Joshy Miller.
Well, in hot potato footy, never take your eyes off an Irishman. And McDermott, another one of these mix in the back line. Getting a bit of showtime on grand final day. And it started, yeah, you're right, Joshy Miller, Thriller Miller. He got it shaped as though he was going to kick, which I thought was an interesting call when he got it in a halfway. And that suckered the defence in, and that created space for him to link up with McDermott down the short side. So Miller pulling the strings early. McGovern has the kick on a string. He split the uprights with that one. Powerhouse looking good early. They lead 14 points to 5.
Great kick from out wide. Kicking is going to be so important today, and especially with the swirling wind. Footscray probably, I have to say, undeservedly down at this time. Definitely don't deserve to be down by.
Yeah, they've started well. They've had chances. Entries into the 22. That's a tester for Greening. Bats it back. Coco. Can't hold it. There was a double knock on, though, according to McLaughlin. So we'll set up for a scrum. What have you made of the scrum so far, Benny?
Yeah, we've seen Footscray really flexing their arm. That front row of Frost and Lueni and Tuaniu. Really outmuscled Powerhouse, you'd have to say, early on. So that's probably where they've had the field dominance and the dominance around the set play.
Nolder. McCooler plays out the back. McGovern plays territory footy, as they so often do. Fancy that Shane Imo who's come on and playing at the back. He wouldn't have been expected to get into the game this early. We can confirm Matai Nairavu, the Fijian Ferrari, sent to the sidelines early. As here comes the counter ruck from Bon Wilson and co. Not too well to retain possession here. It spits out, but a stray boot, which was illegal from the Doggies. So this will be an easy exit, you'd think, for Powerhouse. How important is scoreboard pressure, Benny, in a grand final compared to a regular season game?
Well, I think the beauty of this ground and the setup with Rugby Vic is they've brought in a brand new scoreboard for the game, so it's nice and big for everyone to see. I think it plays on your mind, the psychology of looking at the scoreboard. You sort of can't relax. You know, we saw early on Footscray were playing with nerves. They started this game really, really nervously. So you can't afford to be looking at the clock. You've got to play your own game. So any scoreboard pressure in a grand final, any point is like gold.
Short line out here for the house. Greening claims it. Oh, wild pass into the middle. Well done penalty. They're pulling down the jump up. Fancy it was Greening who had his arm hooked there. And what this does is it invites Powerhouse to enter the 22 if they get a decent touch finder here.
Which they have done. And listen, Footscray, they can't be giving Powerhouse this much time and this much field advantage. They will get punished all afternoon by McGovern's boot if they continue to give away penalties in the opposition 22 around halfway. And that is exactly how Powerhouse like to play. They love to turn you around and just drive from these set pieces.
Bashford at Greening, the two targets in the middle. Looks like Chapman's going to be an insert here, but they go over the back, and the breeze gets involved as Greening has a bit of a word to the terrier that is Hayden Collins. Who's that down in the back of the line out? Powerhouse player reeling around on the ground.
Can't quite see there. It was Hayden Collins and Greening, who I think there was a bit more than words being said, to be fair, but he was fantastic last week. Hayden Collins, he was one of the best on ground. There's not much of him compared to the other forward pack of Footscray, but he is the epitome of a bulldog. Doesn't give anything up.
The smallest dog is the Chihuahua of the pack. Terrier. I think we'll go with a little.
Let's go with Terrier.
The Jack Russell Terrier.
Just didn't give up an inch and played well above his weight last week.
Well, this is Connor Dempsey, folks, who's getting attention for Powerhouse. And look at him. He's limping to the sideline, Benny. And, oh, this isn't good. So, after a long season, a lot of banged up players. You're never going to go into a grand final with 15 players 100%. But already we've seen one of the superstars of this competition, the Fijian Ferrari, Matai Nairavu, taken off after 10 minutes, succumbing to that ankle injury. And now we might have Connor Dempsey exiting the field as well. Now is that Maxie Watson who's going to come on? And I'll tell you what, friend of Sherlock, Watson, he's a decent player. Like his general play footy, he plays like an extra loose forward. He's everywhere. But he's going to be tested at scrum time. Let's see how he goes. First real test for Watson. Footscray. Solid platform. Oh, the pass was a little bit behind for Atal. Samisi has to clean up. Around the corner comes Luweni. Setting up shop in the middle of the field. Back to the left they go, and look at the kick pressure being put on. They've got to run it when they don't want to. Tuia. It's dangerous stuff. Look at the pressure. Fox Harper, illegally so, swatting that away. So it'll be a knock-on from the Powerhouse Centre. And we'll get another scrum. But Watson, introduced into this match in the first half. Earlier than he would have anticipated. Certainly had a lot of dual shield experience over the years, so won't look out of place around here, but certainly packing down against Tuanui is going to be a tough assignment for him.
I don't envy him.
No. Here comes the shove. Watson, he's on skates. This is what we were afraid of. And there's the penalty. Tuanui immediately twisting the knife into the replacement, Max Watson. And they're rewarded with a long arm penalty. That'll help the doggies.
Yeah, just gets them out of their red zone and into the Powerhouse half for what feels the first time in an eternity.
Yeah. Are we at 35 minutes? Surely not.
35 minutes gone.
That's the quickest half of footy I think I've experienced. It's
on our watch, of course, not the referees.
There's been a few injuries as well, so we'll add an extra 5. Nabalakasi taps it back. Oh, and Bucky Zell couldn't hold it. Wasn't the most sympathetic of tip-ons to the halfback. And now we'll get a chance to see what the Powerhouse scrum can do on their own put-in. And this is just as important to see how this new makeshift front row does on their own feed. You'd think they'd want some quick channel ball here. Keep an eye out on this formation. I mean, similar scrum last time they were here. McGovern kicked it. They'll send up McCooler to be the tip of the spear, the number 12 for Powerhouse. Don't be surprised to see him get it at first receiver. And then they've got that little loop play where McGovern runs out the back. Here they go. Running the loop. McGovern out the back. The pass was terrible. And Footscray pounce on it. There's a slight knock on though. Samisi got to it very quickly, but couldn't make it stick in his fingers.
That was like you were the attacking coach for Powerhouse. You knew exactly what was coming. That little loop play that they almost ran perfectly, just a little bit of drop ball, and Footscray knocked on, and Powerhouse are lucky that they did, because if he didn't, he could almost say he was home and host.
Yeah. It's got shades of the grand final 2 years ago out here at Harlequins when Powerhouse lost to Harlequins, 2 years ago. Almost remarkably similar situation where Harlequins built all the scoreboard pressure in the first half and effectively ended Powerhouse chances of winning by half time as they just kept ticking the scoreboard over. As it currently stands, they lead by 9 points and still about, I want to say, maybe even 10 minutes, Benny, to go in the first half with injury time and all of that. As that kick is going to be a tester, high up into the backfield, allowed to bounce. That's always troubling. Wilson does well to clean up and is brought down immediately, though. Footscray a little bit slow to get back behind the ball here as the half wears on. Luweni met well by the defensive line. Samisi puts it through the hands. Got numbers here. Maka, show and go. Maka up to halfway, brought down. And there's Nabalakasi on the hard line. Matthew Nabalakasi needs support. Places, gets up, goes again. Look at that. Coco making a play on the ball. Illegally so. Oh, bit of afters as well. Hello. Trying to get under the skin of the little Paki Sell, the halfback, just to unrattle him. They know how important he is to the hopes of this Footscray's side.
I'd expect nothing less rather than from a scrum half. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to get under the skin of the Powerhouse player, and he got marched 10, I think, for throwing the ball away.
I think Benny, we've got a lot of Footscray supporters on this side of the field, folks. So there may well be a lot of green in the background, but rest assured there's plenty of Footscray support behind the goalposts and on this side behind the camera. So makes sense. A lot of on the field behind us immediately before this game was the Footscray second grade side, who sadly went down to Harlequins in the reserve grade grand final. So those fans have literally done a 180-degree turn and kept their space and are now watching with the sun at their back onto field number 1. Plenty of doggies flags as well. Great to see. So, Samisi, how does he want to run this one? He's got his big battering ram, Afa Fa'atau, standing at 12. Show and go from Samisi. They didn't take the bait. Palu came around the corner prematurely. Got to watch out for this guy. Mawafua gets them on the front foot. Need quick ball. They come around the corner again. Luesi, hello. There's the pass over the top. Play on. It's gone backwards. And they've got the advantage as well for the knock-on. Well, when Luesi dangles that ball in one hand, be awake.
He is a threat anywhere on the field. He almost shows off when he holds it like that. He holds it like a marble. He's that comfortable with the ball in his hand. Always a bit of a coach killer. Gives them a bit of anxiety. He's going to drop it, but he's done very, very well. And this whole possession started with that great run from Eddie Maka. Close to us here. The fans are up. I was up. I'd love to say he shimmied and shaked. And Footscray with a great chance to get on the scoreboard before half-time.
Samisi with the show and go last time. He used Fa'atau to attract the defenders away from him. Can the inside centre touch it this time? Samisi switched down the short side. Bon Wilson came from nowhere. Defence figured it out though. Slow ball here for Sel, so they come around the corner again looking for Ma'afua, the big lock. Slow ball once again. So Powerhouse doing a good job of slowing this down. Here comes another effort from Tyberg. Back to the right they come. Frost. Denied by about 2 metres. Nabalakasi, keep your eyes out for him. Eddie Maka now. Rumbles it forward. Forwards pile in. No guesses how they want to play this one. And they lunge from a metre out and cross the chalk. The Dogs are back in it.
There's a bit going on after that try.
Well, someone's having a go at Pucky Sell, trying to get under his skin. Not sure which player it is, but Luke Palu's in there trying to support his little number 9.
I hate to say it, I did see a punch or an arm.
Did you testify to that, Benny?
There was a lot going on. There's a lot of limbs moving. But something was said. There's umbrage taken. And I tell you what, don't go anywhere, folks, because this is going to be a red-hot second half here in Box Hill.
Now, there's so many bodies around. I'm going to say, not with 100% conviction, but I think Alpha Fa'atau, their inside centre, might have claimed that. He's the biggest inside centre you'll see. He's about 130 kilos. He got in there at the base and was helping out the forwards, and I think he was rewarded for his efforts with 5 points. He's the one getting a lot of pats on the back, and he's the last person to cross halfway, besides the kicker. And it's going to be the replacement as well, Shane Imo, who's going to take the kicking duties. So, is it? Yeah,
I think so.
Really interesting call. We did see Greg Samisi struggle a little bit in recent weeks with some of his goal kicks.
What are they feeding the centres at Footscray? It's just a production line.
Taro.
Just monsters there.
Into the teeth of the breeze. Adds the extra 2.
That's a tough kick.
That's a tough kick. You might not see it from your screens, but he was kicking straight into the face of that wind. They needed that. They could not go into the sheds with Powerhouse getting another score on them. That was huge. 14 plays 12. Powerhouse clinging onto a 2-point lead in the shadows of half-time. Greening stands tallest, claims it from the kickoff. McGovern cuts out Bashford, goes to Buster. The skipper runs onto the middle of the pitch. Well, Nolder a little bit confused which way they wanted to play it. Miller demands it out the right. Fox Harper, quick hands. Got to be watching out for Greg Binney. Well, they'll get the long arm penalty as well. And this is interesting because now they have a free entry into the 22, where Powerhouse are one of the most efficient teams in the competition of converting 22 entries into points. That kick won't help.
No, but I think McGovern just erring on the side of caution. He's already put one past the dead ball. So not getting the meat off the bone he would have liked with that kick, but sets Powerhouse up right in front of their fans. We'll give them that extra heave, you imagine.
So they're going to keep Mika Koko out in the back line. Powerhouse. Greening, yet again, is the go-to man. The maul is immediately sacked. RJ David goes searching for Koko, and look at that, the big man is dumped. Keep the ball alive. McGovern wants to go down the short side. They might have numbers down here as Greening goes in for the clean out. They'll do well to retain possession, and they get another penalty. Now, did Greening knock that on in the process of a quick tap? He might have saved himself because McLaughlin was looking in the opposite direction. But suddenly now, they might have a final chance to score in the first half.
Yeah, Footscray just that not getting the ball back after that kickoff really could hurt him. And as you said, Powerhouse, one of the most effective teams on converting on their 22 entries. This is exactly what how they would have wanted to end the first half.
They're going to go back to a full line out. Coco this time will be the insert. Greening claims it over Nabalakasi. This is a better start to them all. They've got another advantage. How do they want to roll the dice? McCooler, tip of the spear, runs at Hayden, Collins and Palu. Coughs it up in contacts, will go back for the long arm. They'll get another chance here. Feigning the quick tap. Dare say they will try that maul again if they get the opportunity.
Yeah, Footscray got to hold on here. Eddie Marker just getting a talking to, and you know what, they can't afford to lose a man as well.
Well, they're going to take the tap, are they? No, he's just foxing McGovern. Trying to keep those defenders just a little anxious.
The discipline from Footscray off this play. They can't give away a penalty.
They might be looking at a yellow card, I dare say.
Yeah, they can't afford to go down to 10 men.
14?
14, sorry.
Soccer was last night.
Listen, they can't afford to go down to 10 men either.
To the back they go and they claim it. They set up the maul at the tail. This is a better job. They get the go-ahead now. Nolder tries to do it himself. He runs at Eddie Macker. They hold him up in contact. They pile into the base. Slow ball not coming out. Held up. Unplayable ball. And the defensive line of Footscray stands. What a way to round out the first half from the Doggies. They withstood all of that pressure. And at halftime, Powerhouse go to the sheds leading 14 points to 12 in the 2024 Velo Dewar Shield Grand Final. We'll be back very shortly with all the second half action.
Make sure you've got your tickets out and handy. Make sure you've got your reading glasses on to know what colour ticket it is and also what number. Raffle prize today is a red Ferrari. That's what star. First prize is the mid train. No, my house is on fire, house stays on fire. First prize and that ticket is a blue ticket. feedback of Carmen's assortments of all things healthy thanks to Carmen. And it goes to a green ticket, C74, green ticket, C74. Get up to the bar to grab your prize. And the last one is 2 bottles of half-drunk red wine. 2 bottles of red wine is a green ticket, C41, green ticket, C41. Get up into the bar inside the Vauxhall Rugby Club to retain and regain your award. Also a special mention that the bar is now open in the clubhouse. It will give you so much sunshine outside than inside to the bar inside. A big thank you to the Vauxhall Rugby Club for supporting the day in the grand final. The noise is starting to build up on the hill. Got 2 questions for you. Where are our doggy supporters at? Where are our powerhouse supporters at? Back to the doggies, where are you?
Welcome back to Box Hill Rugby Club for the final 40 minutes of Rugby Victoria's senior season. It is the second half of the Velo Dewar Shield Grand Final about to get underway. And we are 40 minutes away from crowning a new champion in 2024. Shannon McLaughlin consults the 2 skippers, blows his whistle, and Footscray allowed the ball to bounce into touch. Get the first line out of the second half. Powerhouse in the green and black hoops, running left to right in the second half. Footscray in the blue and white hoops will be running right to left on your screens. And immediately they go looking for Nabil Akasi, but it's picked out in the middle. Powerhouse claim it, get an early steal. And as I say that, the counter-rucking from Footscray is so good they get it back. As Tuanui goes for a bit of a rumble. In the pocket sits Samisi. Look at the line speed being put on him. That's a terrible kick. Invites Powerhouse to counter-attack. Early ball here now, looking for Greg Binney. And Binney does a bit of a dance, runs straight into the terrier that is Hayden Collins. McGovern plays out the back. Thriller Miller. Early ball to the edge, looking for Greening. The giraffe on stilts. Oh, bumps off one. Campbell Frost doesn't miss him a second time, though. Coughs it up in contact. Palu comes away with it, but there was a stray hand in there. And not for the first time. Oh, hello. Yellow card. Wowee. Benny, what a way to start the second half. Campbell Frost sent straight to the naughty chair.
Yeah, that is not how Footscray wanted to start this half. They've started, to be fair, they started the first half quite poorly as well. So this half following a similar trend. And I tell you what, Hemble Frost is an absolute machine at scrum time. He's been a menace for Powerhouse, so they'll be very glad to have him out of the way for the next 10 minutes.
Absolutely. And is this Stone on the field as well? So, hello. So the coaches gone straight to the bench during the halftime chat and introduced some new meat. As Greening claims it at the back. It wasn't straight though. And that'll hurt Powerhouse because they're playing a man up at the moment and will want to maximise the next 9.5 minutes. Whilst Kemble Frost, now meat pie, prop of the year, one of them, sits on the sideline. Now this is going to force a bit of a reshuffle because they've got to get a front rower out there to Footscray, which will mean they'll also have to drop one of their back rowers to the sideline. Now Stoney's on as well, Liam Stone in jersey 20. Who's he come on for? Chapman, perhaps? Yeah, so Liam Chapman has come off. Liam Stone goes to open side. Isaac Moore, I fancy, will stay out there. It's an interesting call, that, from Eric Tom, Luke Mary and Andrew Shaw, the coaching triumvirate of Powerhouse, introducing Liam Stone so early. So, terrible pass. Luesi can't handle it. Chance now. Harper goes chasing after it. And Harper had a slight knock on in the process. Otherwise, he would have had his second for the afternoon. But instead, it's going to be a scrum to Powerhouse under the black dot.
Yeah, Luesi I think he had to look up. He's a big man himself, but there was a lot of green coming towards him very quickly. And I don't think the ball he got was all too flush.
No.
Crash hot either. So, never a great idea to make a winger think too much about a pass. And unfortunately can't hold on to it. And Powerhouse, listen, this is a dream situation.
Yeah.
Up against 14 men. McGovern on the right. And this is a great chance for them to...
Coco will be licking his lips here, the number 8. It gets a bit of a backward shove though. So, early ball out to the edge looking for Binney. Bon Wilson does a good job, first up, of stopping him in his tracks though. And the counter ruck to boot. What work rate from the blind winger. Well done. Forces the turnover as Malafua comes away with it. They want to play down this short side, courtesy of Bucky Salt. Samisi has to go to halfback. Shane Imo, well, that's into the middle of the field, inviting a bit of trouble. McDermott, he's got Miller on his inside. Thriller finds it from a terrible pass. He goes for a bit of a run into the middle of the field. Evades one tackle, eventually brought down in the middle. But they'll start from a good attacking position here, Powerhouse. Flat and hard is big RJ David. Look at the big man go. Coughs it up in contact though, and I fancy captain of the kennel, Eddie Macker, might have had a hand in that.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. He's been good today, Eddie Macker, leading by example. And they are causing a lot of issues with ball in hand. I think, listen, this isn't a fair fight when it comes to kicking. McGovern and up against Imo, it's master and apprentice really, but the strength of Footscray, just grinding the ball up and down the field. It's been good to see. They forced the error there. Let's see what they got off this scrum.
So a player down, often drop a flanker. One of the things you always got to be concerned about is if you run it to the open side here where they don't have a loose forward, it's just getting enough resources to that first breakdown. So the backs might have to do a little bit of dirty work here. Samisi tries an interesting little chip and chase. You don't see that too often. Thriller Miller's back there to carry. Escapes one would-be tackle. Support gets back to lock off the breakdown, but there's a knock on.
I tell you what, there were 4 or 5 guys on that hill who were just signalling to the referee the signal of knock on, and I think he had no choice but to listen to them. But a good pressure, as you said, the kick and chase, not really showing much strength for Footscray so far, but Miller couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, it's an interesting tactic, mixing up the kicking game. You're never going to win in a kicking duel with the threats of Miller and McGovern. So I don't mind it. Very interesting for the species. A little bit of a chip and chase, just trying to vary up the length of these kicks and putting it halfway between that backfield and the defensive line, and paid dividends. Good shove this time from a 7-man pack. Luesi plays flat. They play out the back. Oh, Wilson was left alone in the middle. Won't need him though. Tuia races up to the 22. Front foot ball here. Sell goes looking down the short side, and they look to be a little bit offside there. And hello, McLaughlin goes to the pocket, and we might be seeing a little bit more cheese. The crowd tells the story.
The crowd are getting really into the game now.
Isaac Moore will be seeing less of the game in the next 10 minutes. He heads to the naughty chair where he can share stories with Kemble Frost. 14 on 14. This is going to open up the field somewhat.
100%, and more importantly, chews up more of Kemble Frost's time in the sin bin for Footscray. Of course, now it's all evened up. Tuia, though, I tell you what, the 2 replacement centres for Footscray have done outstanding today. There's a big hole left by the 2...
Nuku and Volley.
Nuku and Volley, but I tell you what, the 2 centres from Footscray really stood tall. They can be really proud of their performance 50 minutes in.
So Footscray, scrum on the 22. Here comes the shove again. They're really flexing their muscle now at scrum time. They've got utter dominance there. Samisi takes it to the line. Tries to run over the top of his opposite number. The forwards realign down the short side, minimising their step count. Nabalakasi gets the offload away. Got to be awake to that. They fang it out to the left. Early ball now, looking for Wilson. Has to cut back in Fields. Brought down just inside the 22. Nabalakasi evades the first would-be tackle. Familiar red headgear of his, getting a workout today. On the hard line, Sokolueni rattled in contact. Nabalakasi lands on his back, places the ball backwards. They'll retain possession as the breeze really starts to pick up. Samisi tries to do it himself. Imo cuts back in, runs at Buster Eberhardt. Here, you've got to be careful of Sell running late in the game. Oh, and it's been picked off, but there was an advantage. For a moment there, I thought Greg Binney was away.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked when everyone had stopped and then looked back and the referee had boarded back. Didn't see the advantage called, but good work from Footscray. Again, I think it's CU, the scrum half for Footscray, really just working them around the park really well. If he gets spots half a gap, his head's up, he's through it. And I'll tell you what, this is an interesting decision Footscray have got.
It certainly is. I mean, they have a chance to go into the lead, which you want to take in a final, obviously, but with half an hour to go, there's still going to be points and tries after this, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
This will give an indication into the mindset of the Dogs. If ever there was a team that likes to tap and run and keep ball in hand and spurn the 3 points, and as I say that, they're going to take the scrum.
I don't even think it crossed their mind going for the 3.
Yeah,
they are entertainers. They know they score most of their points from tries. And if they're going to win this grand final, they're going to do it by scoring more tries than their opposition.
Changes. Maxine Older gets an early shower. The number 9 for Powerhouse goes to the touchline. And in his place comes a man with plenty of first grade experience himself, Thomas Bramley. And that's not the only change, because one of the men we identified pre-game It's one of the keys to this powerhouse team. Geordie Schmidt is thrown onto the field. He'll come on at jersey 13 in place of Fox Harper. The scrum again from Footscray makes mincemeat of the house, and they whip it to the backs, trying to get early ball now for Dewar. Dewar brought down in the hey diddle diddle. Options left and right for Sal. Lueni evades one tackle. The hooker goes awfully close, but he doesn't release.
Yeah, they had Powerhouse on the ropes there. 2 good runs, another good one from Tuia, and then Lueni barging through, but just, again, a little bit lack of discipline in just turning the ball over right when they had Powerhouse. They were ready to strike the knockout blow, you feel.
Well, look at that kick.
You can see how strong that wind is.
Yeah.
He didn't even go the distance.
No.
And it almost came back in.
Okay, is this Kemble Frost returning? It certainly is. So they're back to a full complement here, Footscray, and now they have the advantage, 15 on 14. The Dogs, 1 extra man on the field. Can they make Powerhouse pay? Half an hour to go in the Velo Jewish Shield Grand Final of 2024. Greening, finds it, hands it off to Watson, but there was a knock on.
The Footscray fans are up. They love that noise. They love that sign. And I think Powerhouse might have gotten away with something at that line out, so maybe it evens itself out with the knock on.
It's the 3rd time they've met in 2024. Of course, we have to go all the way back to round 1 for their first encounter. Powerhouse getting the cookies on that occasion. They won 23 points to 19. And in round 11, they played for the 2nd time, and it was even closer. Powerhouse prevailing by a single point, 33-32. So Footscray learning from each loss and getting closer to getting a W against Powerhouse. It's been the story of their season, though. Footscray started a little bit slow, came home rather quick. Finished the regular season, Footscray in 3rd position on the log. Minor premiership, of course, falling with Harlequins. Big story of the postseason. Harlequins bundled out in straight sets, losing in the major semi-final to Powerhouse. And then last week, falling to Footscray. That's not going to help their cause, though, for the Bulldogs. That's an easy exit for Powerhouse to get the short hand at scrum time. And we're seeing the Govern put up and under in a similar situation, the old Gary Owen. Is he going to put a high ball up and try to test the backfield? Oh, it just goes straight torpedo. Hello. Guess who's back there? Luesi, always a threat. There's the chip and chase. Is anyone in the backfield to collect it? Yes, they are! And racing away now is a chance for McDermott. Bundled into touch, but Mickey Dees almost gets it inside the 22. Didn't he read that well?
Yeah, I tell you what, that strategy from Powerhouse of just pumping it to the back 3 of Footscray, they tried it once in the first half with some great effect, and then again, they're just putting them under. And I tell you what, this back three from Footscray, it's not probably their strongest lineup that they would have. So there's maybe a little bit of an experience, maybe a bit of grand final trepidation. But yeah.
Overthrow. Eberhardt comes away with it. The skipper goes charging into the defensive line. Gets them on the front foot. McGovern. McCooler. Goes out. Oh, they race up on Greg Binney. Thriller Miller comes away with it, though. Chance now for Stone. He runs into the 22 and straight into Samisi. Slow ball here on this occasion. They've got the long arm penalty, so they'll come back for that. And here's an opportunity now for Powerhouse.
It's a big test for Footscray.
And there you go. There, right there, is an example of the contrasting strategies of these two sides. Powerhouse taking the 3, and it feels like only 3 minutes ago the Dogs were in a similar position at the other end of the field. And they turned down the 3, Benny, in an effort to try and score the try.
Well, kicking at this ground today has been a challenge. I dare say from here McGovern will throw it over. But the wind is swirling. But with a man still on the naughty chair,
Yeah.
this isn't a bad strategy, is it?
Well, we're getting to that period in the match where we're going to start to see our replacements. As McGovern, as cool as you like, slots it through the sticks.
We were saying at half-time, Gerard, the Footscray second division side actually played in the grand final this afternoon. So injury decimated Footscray, the first grade side as it is. They don't have that fresh team to pull from. And they did play a bruising game against Harlequins last week. So you just wonder, is that going to be an advantage? Or is that going to just drain the energy from them in the last 20 minutes here?
Well, I'll tell you who's going to make a difference. Bucks Tosavili coming on in jersey 19. Didn't he make an impact last week when he was introduced to the arena? And Coco claims the kickoff. Luesi arrests him immediately. And Powerhouse will be praying for a clean exit here. They've struggled with it. Bramley does a better job.
Great kick.
Yeah.
Great work. Footscray, big challenge for them. Down by 5. Still 20 minutes to go. Still plenty of time. But I feel like they're lacking the strike power that they had last week to really break this game open. But they've got so much heart, so much courage. Let's see where it takes them.
Nabalakasi claims it. Samisi goes looking for Mawafua in the midfield. Around the corner, well, Nabalakasi bumps into the ref as he goes back down the short side, exploring options there. Finds Luke Parlu on his little expedition. Come back to the open. Another fresh man out there. As Luesi bumps off 1, bumps off 2. That's a good carry. Crichton is out there as well now for the Doggies. They try the pick and go through the middle. Need to retain possession here. Can't do it. And who's that getting pats on the head? You wouldn't believe it. Smallest man on the field, Thomas Bramley.
Yeah, really, really good job. And Footscray will be really disappointed. They did so well to get into that 22 of Powerhouse, and now they're just going to let them out. Little turnover, penalty. I tell you what, Powerhouse have responded really, really well to losing a man as well. They've held their structure. Obviously outscored Footscray. So no tries yet. But I dare say the next try in this game could determine who will be the champion of the Dewar Shield for 2024.
Eberhardt watches on. We've got Paul Ailupotea out there now in the front row. And Palu comes away with it. So the hookers struggling on this Box Hill playing surface. They work it into Bucks Tassavili with that trademark energy lift that he brings. And here we go, Paki Sell. This is when you've got to be awake to him. The final 20 minutes of every match often belongs to the halfback from Footscray. Hayden Collins, he's been kept quiet this afternoon. Hasn't had too many opportunities. They're slow to roll away here, Powerhouse. And Sell tries to convince the ref of that.
There's a lot of Bucks fans here in the crowd.
Well, ain't no party like a Bucks party. He's got plenty of friends and family out here cheering him on. We seem to attract the Doggies fans, don't we, Benny, wherever we stand each week. Who is 20? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Placements are coming thick and fast at the moment, so trying to stay on top of that. Trying to figure out jersey 17, Tuia Tua on. I'm not sure who he has brought off. Maybe Soko Lueni. Is his day done? Quite possibly. So Nabalakasi collected that on his outside shoulder, and McLaughlin spotted it. He has no choice but to award a scrum to Powerhouse, and aren't the fans on the hill happy with that decision?
Yeah, they are being wound up by their own players. They've almost been the extra man for Powerhouse today. But that Footscray drum won't stop beating. They're still well and truly in this fight. And if there's one thing they've loved this afternoon, it's scrum time. This could be a good opportunity for them.
Well, one of the men to thank for that is the man carrying out the water right now, Sam Talakai, your old mate and colleague at the Melbourne Rebels. Had a bit to do with the Doggies, hasn't he, this season, helping out with their coaching and their scrum work and whatnot. Great to see.
Well, it's paid off in spades based on the first 60 minutes of this game. But a great clubman, great man for Victorian rugby, Sam Talakai. I believe he signed with Glasgow during the week.
Yes, I think I saw something online.
So it's a little bit of a farewell for him today as well. And
he said he wanted to get better weather. He was searching for better weather. So he's leaving Melbourne for Glasgow.
Yes, because every day in Melbourne in winter is like today.
So, yeah, he'll be taking first flight out after this grand final, but we're very lucky to have had him helping out in Clubland. Another good shove, but they're going to give away a long arm penalty. Losing their bind, if I'm interpreting that correctly.
They weren't 100% sure, the Footscray players. I'm not sure they were overly happy with the decision. I'll tell you who was happy though, those fans on that hill. Yeah. They're getting boisterous.
Well, they had four. Oh, is that kick going to find touch? It is. Just goes over the head of Gilbert Mike. And there's another player you want to keep an eye out for. In the pink headgear of Footscray, stalking the sideline. He's going to be introduced in a matter of moments, I'm sure of it. And this guy, he can raise the energy.
Talk about a game changer. He was unbelievable.
Yeah,
he changed the momentum of that game immensely last week.
Absolutely. So, Greening at the back claims it. That's what they want, a win on the 15-metre line. Allows them to play off Schmidt in the midfield. Oh, the pass to Coco wasn't great, and it's pinched by Tuia. Look at Tuia go. It takes three men to get him to turf. Nabalakasi first receiver. Nice little tip pass there. Looking for Mauafua. Here goes Bon Wilson running at Schmidt. Held up behind the tackle. Tried the cheeky little pick and go through the middle. Powerhouse were having none of it. So they come back to Fa'atau. Making a play for the ball is Ailupatea. Slows it down somewhat, but doesn't steal it. So now they go in search of another one of these replacements out there. To the right they go. Imo dumps it back on the inside. Tuia. It's been a real handful today at outside centre. And they get the long arm penalty, and they don't want the three, they want the quick tap. Paki Sell goes running inside the 22. Well, this is trademark Footscray. Caution to the wind. Going for the jugular. And there's a decent carry. Gets him in front of the black dot. Fa'atau takes it to the line. Bumps off one. He's 5 metres short. Paki Sell, got to be careful of the number 9 in this area of the field. He's so dangerous. Nabalakasi goes to acting half. He looks up, he finds Tosavili. In the middle of the field they go. Powerhouse commit numbers to the breakdown. They might have stolen it. They have stolen it. Schmidt puts it on the shoe. If this stays in, it'll be interesting. Shane Imo's back there. He's got Luesi. They've got two sprinting after it quickly. Luesi Ooh, heart in your mouth stuff when he touches it. Thumps it long, looking for a 50-22, but he kicks it out on the full.
Yeah, Luesi had a wall of green defenders and green jerseys in front of him. And Footscray were very, very slow to get back to support him. It was a great kick from Schmidt. Maybe at any other ground, you'd probably just want to put it into touch. But with this wind and no one in home, it ended up being a great decision just to pump it into the backfield. That kick wasn't what they wanted, to the delight of the green wall of powerhouse supporters.
Greening waits at the back. They've used that play before and it's worked efficiently once again. Here's the tester. It's a high ball. Who wants it most? Well, they cough it up. Shane Imo, the replacement fullback. McGovern comes away with it, immediately goes to Coffin corner. Here he goes. Greg Binney chases after it. Binney collects it, races for the corner, and is in. Oh, held up. Can you believe it?
Tell you what, that is Herculaneum from Footscray to prevent Binney from scoring there. I thought for all money he was in. It bobbled and bounced and he sort of hesitated. And how they have stopped them from scoring, I don't know.
Bon Wilson and Pucky Sell were the only two doggies in the frame, and somehow they got underneath that ball. If they win this match, buy those two a beer. They have done the unimaginable. So they pump this one long, and now it's McDermott, the other winger, trying to have an imprint on this match. Good carry to start the set. He hands it off to Greenig, works it to Miller. They race up quickly on Ailupotea. Oh, did they leave their feet there? Bramley's claiming he wants a penalty, not going to get one. Schmidt sniffing around the fringes, runs at Eddie Macker, never a great idea. Bramley directs traffic to the left. Ailupotea is getting really involved now, isn't he? The prop. Options left and right. McGovern plays out the back to Miller. He cuts back in. Crichton is awake to it. Bramley, McCullough, show and go. Runs at Parley. Got to be careful. Wherever that back rower is, he loves to steal. Bashford plays flat, looking for Coco. Defence make a play on it. They've done really well to retain possession, and now they've got space on the left. Here's an opportunity. Going through is McDermott. And Michael McDermott has pulled a rabbit out of his hat. Well, the two wingers of Powerhouse, Greg Binney and Michael McDermott, in the space of 2 minutes, have cut Footscray to ribbons.
Powerhouse seemingly out of nothing. Just throw it at the left to the blind side. Footscray defended so valiantly this afternoon, especially in the second half. But it just proved to be too much for Powerhouse. And they cut through like a hot knife through butter down that left-hand side. And scored the first try of the second half. And I tell you what, they may have one hand on that Dewar Shield trophy.
Well, we saw it 3 times in the last 5 minutes. Joshy Miller popping up as second receiver on those second man swing plays. And when you get Miller touching the ball, sweeping around the back, he opens up the field like no other player with his passing game. As McGovern has the flags raised. How important was that?
It's a massive kick. Massive kick. And Footscray, is it about to strike midnight on their fairy tale season, their fairy tale run? Big 10 minutes coming up for them.
Well, if any team can pull a victory from the claws of defeat, it's Footscray. We've seen it how many times this year? winning it in the last minute or two. So don't give up hope just yet, Doggies fans. This is a team that can score from anywhere. The Fijian Fiat, Lovo now out there on the field. And that kick's going to go straight to him. Here he goes. Oh, the Fiat drops it. Hands it straight over to Powerhouse as they race away with it. Double knock on. And his first touch since entering the arena. Lovo. Not a great one.
No, I tell you what, in any match, taking a high ball is extremely difficult as your first interaction. But to do it at Box Hill with this wind in a grand final, I tell you what, just the pressure was too much. Went straight through his hands.
So Afa Fa'atau, who started the game at inside centre, he'll come off. And I fancy we'll see Shane Imo move to 12, which frees up the right wing for Lovo. And Luesi, don't mind this, will move to fullback. And he is a guy who can break open the game. So I like the idea of seeing him at fullback. You'll get more involved at least. Might see a few chip and chases from his own try line. Such is the nature of how he plays this game.
And I tell you what, that's what they're going to have to do now. They've got 10 minutes. It's got to score 2 tries. If they want to stay in this fight. They've been very good today, Footscray. A few little mistakes, a few minute giveaways. But for a team, you have to say, is decimated by injuries and suspensions. 3 of their best backs unavailable. It may just be a hill too far, but Powerhouse again have been good. I don't think they've been at their best today, but you don't have to be at your best to win a grand final.
They lead by 2 converted tries, and this is where that game plan of theirs, playing territory first, can be such a ruthless strategy. Because they know if they just play on the Footscray side of halfway, any penalty, any error by Footscray will turn into 3 points, and that's the game. They only need 1 more score to secure it. It may even, in fact, be enough now, got enough points, but 1 more score is a nail in the coffin of this Footscray team.
Yeah.
So as long as they stay on that side of halfway, they're a single act of ill discipline away from a penalty goal and a grand final victory. They work it to Makula, the tip of the spear, the centre. Charges into the defence. Gilbert Mike's out there now. Around the corner they come. And it looks like Bert Whistle is out there, a replacement. That's his first touch. You'll want to forget that. Who's he on for? So, that kick, ooh, you can see the breeze there.
I'll tell you what, he's 10 metres this side of halfway, and they chose to kick it to the other end.
Yeah. And such is the strength of that.
Such is the strength out of the wind.
Yeah. So Gilbert Mike's out there. Who's off? Perhaps, surely not. Maybe Malfour. Nablakasi claims it. Samisi looks for his man, Gilbert Mike. There's the energy. Met by the green wall. Crichton charges into Ailupatea. Still stuck on their side of halfway. Can Eddie Maka change that? Yes, he can. Bumps off 1, bumps off 2. That's a carry. Pakisel wants to come back to the open side. Finds Crichton again. Slow breakdown. They play out the back. Samisi, early ball to Luesi. Here's trouble. Suesi. Great tackle that from Greg Binney on a much bigger man. Samisi plays flat to Nabalakasi. We've got Buttonshaw out there now as well, so we might be close to all the reserves being on. Samisi plays out the back. Shane Imo. cuts back infield, thought he sniffed something there. He was half right, but he coughs it up in contact. And Sherlock's mate, Watson, is there to pounce on it. So, McGovern, as predicted, pumps it long and says, Luesi, you've got to run it from your own half if you want to score against us. And that's a great chase. Gets the pass away to Bon Wilson. And look at this, Lovo breaks into the backfield. Needs support to get there, though. If they can shift it quickly, they'll be all right. They go down the short side, probing, finding a bit of space there, though they are flirting with the touchline. Wilson pops up at first receiver. Always a threat when he's getting his hands on the ball. Slow ball on this occasion, though. Gilbert Mike, show and go. Wanted the offload, couldn't find it. Out the back they play. Samisi, early ball to the edge. Trying to create something. Tui up. He's been really good today, the centre. Flat and fast is Crichton, marching his way inside the 22. Early ball to the edge. Gilbert Mike goes for a bit of a darting run. Look at Mike go. Getting them in good field position now. And this has been their longest passage of the match. So they can hold pill when they want to. Samisi catches it on his back shoulder. Doesn't like it. Takes it into contact. Ball spits out for Wilson. Bon sneaks through. Places it beautifully. Here comes the pick and go from Eddie Macca. He's about 4 metres short now. Now the big boys want to get involved. Courtesy of Tuia, the centre. How close has he gone? Held up.
By far the best phaser player, Footscray. So patient. Worked it up. Just almost crushed over there. Held up and just going to chew up more valuable seconds on the clock for Powerhouse.
So McGovern, whose right boot has had such a say in today's proceedings, pumps this long, and Luesi tries to wave his wand. Has he got another spell in him? He's a tank. Charges into the defensive wall. Crichton stands at first receiver. That's where they go. He runs at McCool up. They come back to the left. They've got numbers if they can work it here. Bon Wilson goes digging back into the middle. Packy Sell, got to be careful of him. Creating a space on the left. And Tuia gets tackled and knocks it on. So free roll of the dice now. Josh Greening, hey, look, I can kick two, he says. He puts it over the head of the Fijian Fiat. No, Lovo watches it into touch. And, well, what a kick that is from the lock.
Yep. I think we said it a few weeks ago. The man has a career in AFL waiting for him if he wants it. But where else would he rather be than at Powerhouse playing rugby in front of the green wall? Unbelievable kick to get him out of trouble.
Well, a second stick away. The drought will continue, it looks like, for Footscray as Nablakasi claims it at the back. Gilbert Mike's second man play out the back. Decent carry. It's been 86 long years since they tasted Dewar Shield victory. Footscray. And it looks like that drought's going to continue a little bit longer. Not because of this man, Luke Palu. He's been magnificent all year. One of the best in the biz. Two players down in back play for the Dogs. That's not going to help their cause as Tuia bumps off one, bumps off two. Good carry this. As the crowd starts to sing on the hill. Palu brought down. Samisi takes it into contact yet again. Geordie Schmidt's there to meet him though. Powerhouse fans now starting to sing. They can taste this Dewar Shield title. It's only moments away now. Imo crawls up to the 22. Good clean out. Finally holding on to possession late in this game. Oh, no, Lovo coughs it up. And knock on from the winger. But interesting, another long passage of play from the Dogs. It's taken them a full 75 minutes before they've been able to hold it for more than 5 phases.
I tell you what, it seemed almost uncharacteristic like from Footscray holding the ball that long. They're quite razzle-dazzle and they throw it round, and that's how they've had such success. So to see them play a bit more structured rugby, I feel like maybe if they were doing this from earlier on, it might have led to more points. But I tell you what, Powerhouse, they haven't conceded a point this second half. They've kept Footscray scoreless so far. And as the songs begin to sing, I think it's going to be a very, very long night in the dungeon of Albert Park.
Yeah. And hats off to Eric Tom, Luke Cremeri, Andrew Shaw. The standard of coaching, they've taken it to another level this year. And this victory today in no small part due to them. As Eamon McCullough puts his hand up for some work. Bashford, he's been brilliant all season, forming one of the best locking combinations. In fact, the best lock combination in the competition. Miller gets grasped by Wilson, somehow gets to his feet, goes again, and now he plays for the corner behind Nailovu Lovu, who has to race back. This is a well-angled kick. The Fijian pinned in the corner. How's he going to play this one? Nailovu Lovu keeps it in hands. Ooh, he needs support back there. Luesi makes a late lunge, and they steal it. Greening cuts through, and there goes big Josh Greening, jotting it down and putting the cherry on top of the cake.
Powerhouse deservedly scoring, and you just look at the body language of those players after that kick. There were 5 or 6 Powerhouse players up to confront the winger from Footscray. I think only there were people walking. The Bulldogs have given everything today. They've given everything for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you just wonder if psychologically beating Harlequins was almost a grand final for them last week.
Well, you did allude to that, and you made a good point at halftime about the energy that would have been sapped from them from that game last week. Meanwhile, Powerhouse had a week off to recover, and it was such a bruising match last week for Footscray. That takes a bit out of you, and yeah, great point. Final kick, Nailovu Lovu picked up. He only had Luesi within 30 metres of him. No other blue jerseys. Meanwhile, there were 5 green jerseys in the frame. And in the 80th minute of the grand final, that says a lot about your fitness. It says a lot about why you're a premiership winning team. McGovern adds another 2. And to the age-old question, whose house? We say Powerhouse. Your Velo Dewar Shield champions in 2024.
Well, you have to say it's been deserved. Beating Harlequins Week 1 of the finals after a bruising year-long competition. Such a proud club, such a big club. But take nothing away from Footscray. They were great today. They've been great all week. Sorry, great for the last 3 weeks. Great the whole final series. But Powerhouse deserved winners today.
It has been 16 years since the Dewar Shield sat in the dungeon. In fact, it's been over a decade since any other team besides Harlequin or Melbourne got their mitts on that trophy. And they've broken the drought. We knew that today history was going to be made after both these teams been in the wilderness for a couple of years now. And Footscray, we want to recognise what a massive contribution they've made to the competition this year. It's been 86 years since they won this title. They've been up against the weight of history, but the way this club has turned itself around in the last 3-4 years has been nothing short of remarkable. And you look at the other fields here today, they've had grades represented, not just first grade. It's not just at the top end of the club that they're getting the business done. They've built a bit of depth. The culture is always terrific. We've stood today, Benny, in front of a lot of the Footscray fans. We know how passionate they are. And whilst Powerhouse will get the plaudits today, I think it's worth acknowledging at this point their contribution and the remarkable turnaround from Footscray.
Absolutely, because, you know, the first grade side is, well, the health of the first grade side is one thing, but to have so many clubs playing in so many grand finals today just shows the depth and, as you said, the culture, and it's so strong. And we've been lucky enough to have the supporters pretty much behind us for the last 3 weeks. I was missing that lady who was passionately screaming "Go Doggies" all of last weekend. But no, listen, I think there's a lot of green shoots showing for this rugby club, and they can be very proud, and they've got a lot to look forward to next year. So hopefully we see them back here again very soon.
But for now, it's Powerhouse's time in the sun, and well may they congratulate Eric Tom, Luke Rameri, Andrew Shaw, the Brains Trust, who have masterminded this grand final glory here today. And the depth of the club has certainly grown. I remember at the start of the year they were saying they wanted to put together a 5th grade side. Such was the number of players they had at their disposal, and that speaks of culture right there. The number of people want to be aligned with this club. And there'll be a lot of happy people, I know, watching from Ireland and all around the world tuning in to support them. They've had such great contributors over the past 5-10 years in particular, who might not be tasting grand final glory today. And as I say that, look at over there, Big Shamrock in the thick of it. But players who have helped progress this team to the level they needed to be at to finally taste grand final glory. And it's that old adage, you need to lose a grand final to win one. Well, we're here 2 years ago. We saw the heartbreak on Powerhouse faces when they lost to Harlequins in that grand final, but you knew that they were going to come back at some point and challenge for the title again. And it's only taken them 2 years to achieve the ultimate prize in Victorian rugby. Congratulations to them. A couple of standouts. Josh Greening, not just because of that final try. I think he led the line-out carries today. Line-out wins, mind you. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to preempt any award, but Kean McGovern, with that kicking game of his today, may just have been the single most important thing in this victory.
Yeah, I think his kicking was the difference today. That was, if you were to put him in a Footscray jersey, you can almost change the result, because his ability to control the ball, send it around the different areas of the park. He started a bit slowly, and a few kicks go haywire, just adjusting to the wind, but once he got accustomed, the ball was on a string, and a lot of good performance today for Powerhouse. Fox Harper was great when he was on the field. But yeah, listen, he's probably my pick for best on ground today.
Keep an eye on the Rugby Vic social media pages. They'll be awarding the Paul Gascoigne medal a little bit later today, and you can see if
look at those scenes over on the hill.
Is the man who claims it. But for now, a big thank you to all of our fans who have tuned in throughout the year. We're very conscious that the majority of our supporters are from overseas, and we really thank you for your support throughout the year. There's no doubt about it. Your encouragement, your engagement is what makes this competition so highly prized by all of these clubs. So thank you for joining us in 2024 and giving us a chance to share this great competition with you around the world. That's it for 2024. Thank you for the team for putting today together. There's Ari up in the stands with the camera, doing a great job as per usual. But from Box Hill, it is farewell to season 2024 and a congratulations to Powerhouse, your 2024 Velo Dewar Shield champions.
Fantastic support down here from the top crowd, for the Footscray Rugby Club, and also from the Powerhouse Rugby Club. to invite the Powerhouse Rugby Club back to the middle. It's all great and well to celebrate, but you actually might need the trophy first. So we head back to the middle of the field so we can start the presentations. Also, if we can ask anybody that's around the speaker, we can just press pause on those speakers, please, while we go through the presentation. Also, if we can have a representative from the Harlequins Rugby Club, that would be great. Like I said earlier, people up north said that there's no such thing as Rugby Victoria, and I completely disagree with them. So a big round of applause just for Rugby here in Victoria for season 2024. Before we start, can we just have your attention, please? We know the score is what the score is, but it's now to go through our presentation. Can we just ask the Powerhouse crew over there just to pause the speaker for a second? That'd be great. Can we just get a message to those with the speaker to press pause, please? Thank you. Well, we appreciate that everybody's excited about what's happened today. We're pretty enjoyable in that space, and just make sure that we are respectful in the presentations. Before we continue, we'd like to thank all the people that have been involved in bringing rugby to this field here today. We'll start off with our referees. They do a lot of great work throughout the season, and they do have to face some tough challenges, not only from the field but also from the crowd as well. If you do believe that you can do a better job than the referee, please feel free to pick up the whistle. So we'd like to present the referee whistle to today's Dewar Shield Grand Final referee, to Shannon McLaughlin. Congratulations to Shannon McLaughlin. Big round of applause. Also, in each game there's always going to be a player that plays the best. Today's player is going to win the Paul Gascoigne Award. Paul Gascoigne played in 16 grand finals. We won 12 grand finals. The most decorated rugby player here in Victoria. He started playing in the 80s, maybe 1910 potentially, but he's still up until today refereeing the juniors. So a true rugby man. So a big round of applause for Paul Gascoigne.
Congratulations to both teams that made the grand final. A lot of other disappointed teams that wanted to be here, but congratulations to you both. Congratulations to Footscray. I know there needs to be a winner in the grand final, and today we can now have the justly deserved. The player in the grand final, there were a few standouts, but someone who controlled the game and kept the ball in front of the forward start off and keep this composure. That's number 10, Kane.
Congratulations to go. We'd like to call forward, we're about to present the Minor Premier Trophy, and the winner of the Minor Premiership this year goes to Harlequin Rugby Club. So if there's anybody here from the Harlequin Rugby Club that would like to come and accept their trophy of the Minor Premiership, please step forward. Before we continue on at rugby, now call forward the captain of the Footscray Rugby Club, Ed Mucker. First of all, congratulate E.T. Buster and the boys. We've watched you guys over a few years. You guys have worked for this. You guys have earned it. Congratulations, and I celebrate hard. You are, boys. Head up. Come on. Now we move. Let's get back to the drawing board and we'll go again. To our coaches, just want to thank you guys for taking your time out to be with us week in, week out. Sacrificing your lives at home to be with us. Last but not least, our supporters. On behalf of the boys, we want to thank you. We're a little inside joke with the boys. We always say that I feel like we've never had our away game this year because our support has been just loud and backing us all the way. So I want to thank you guys. And also, last but not least, to Shannon. You've been repping, I think, all our games. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for that. And our sister Louise. Yes, thank you. A big shout out to Ed Bucker. And just also as a support one, everyone was saying here, everyone at the Footscray Rugby Club, the culture that they've built over the last couple of years, rising to the top, where they've come from a division lower to build the culture, to build rugby in the West. Congratulations, and keep continuing doing what you are doing because it's growing the sport out west. Congratulations to the Footscray Bulldogs. I'd like to now call forward the captain of the powerhouse and the rugby club, Joe Dewar.
How's that? Yeah, first of all, before I forget, I'd like to thank not just the referees from today, but all the referees for the year that I've forgotten to thank. Look, honestly, we couldn't be out here playing the game we love without any of you, so thank you very much. The Box Hill Rugby Club, like an unreal event, like seamless, awesome food, awesome drinks, everyone's happy. Like, we're here to play rugby, we're here to enjoy rugby, and I think everyone should off today. Honestly, that Footscray Rugby Club, like, been around the state for a while, and to see you guys grow from where I've seen it be, like, it's unreal to see. Just keep doing what you're doing, build the culture, and it'll keep rolling. I think you can see that what we've built, going where you're going. Awesome to see two Victorian born captains having a crack at each other out there. Eddie Mucker and I played under 18 juniors together and against each other. It's awesome to be able to go head to head with such a champion of our state. So congratulations to you guys for being here. Just want to put a massive thanks to our committee. I joined Powerhouse about So thank you very much. We've got the best medic team possibly in the country. Sometimes got 30 players out and they've been unbelievable. If you think just setting up the training is what a physio should do, then don't watch these guys because they will break that record. All our coaches, thank you so much. Same thing, the amount of time that they've put into the brand of rugby that we play is unbelievable. So just a massive thank you to you guys. I've never seen anything like the commitment that you guys have got for this club. Oh, just quickly, thank you to my two little boys for putting up with me never being at home. No. And, man, senior battalion, thank you. The effort this year has been unbelievable. The commitment to each other was proved today. Not just out here, but up there. All those guys up there and put on the boots today. I'm so proud to be a part of this club. Thank you very much.
Shotbuster, Lucy Radcliffe and also Marcus Reynolds from Rugby Victoria would like to present to you one of the Premiership banners and two, the Dewar Shield to take back to the dungeon back at Albert Park. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Dewar Shield champions, the Powerhouse Rugby Club. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Please remember, if there's rubbish around you, pick it up, put it in the bin. Remember to take your kids home with you as well. If you came with 3 kids, count how many kids you came with and take them back with you. A big thank you to everybody who's joined us today. A big thank you to all the supporters around.